Hello, and welcome to the Fringe Topics channel. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and join us on the exploration of the fringe. The hollow earth theory has fascinated scientists, explorers, and conspiracy theorists alike for centuries. It hypothesizes that the earth is not a solid sphere but contains a substantial interior space. Long before the advent of modern science, the concept of a hollow earth was embedded in various mythologies and religious texts. In ancient Greek cosmology, the underworld known as Hades was thought to exist beneath the Earth's surface. Similarly, Hindu cosmology envisioned a multi-layered universe, with the Earth resting on the back of a giant turtle, which itself stood on a cobra. These early ideas, although not scientific, laid the groundwork for later theories by introducing the concept of an Earth with complex internal structures. The Age of Enlightenment in the 17th and 18th centuries was a period of intellectual and scientific revolution. During this time, the focus shifted from religious and mythological explanations of the world to empirical observation and logical reasoning. It was in this context that the modern form of the hollow earth theory began to take shape. In 1692, Edmund Halley, the English astronomer, famous for calculating the orbit of Halley's Comet, proposed the theory. Halley presented a paper to the Royal Society titled An Account of the Cause of the Change of the Variation of the Magnetic Needle, with an hypothesis of the structure of the internal parts of the Earth. This was the first formal presentation of his hollow earth theory. Halley was intrigued by the Earth's magnetic field, particularly its variations and anomalies. The magnetic field was not uniform, and magnetic compass readings could be significantly different depending on the geographical location. This was a serious issue for navigation, a field in which Halley had a keen interest. To explain these magnetic anomalies, Halley proposed that the Earth was made up of concentric spheres. He suggested that there were two inner spheres and an outer shell, each with its magnetic field. These spheres were separated by luminous atmospheres, which could potentially support life. Halley attempted to ground his theory in the scientific understanding of his time. He drew upon Isaac Newton's recently published law of gravitation to argue that these concentric spheres could stably exist. Halley also speculated that gas escaping from the Earth's crust might come from these inner worlds, and that the aurora borealis might be caused by the escape of this gas through the polar openings. The Royal Society, of which Halley was a member, received the theory with interest but also skepticism. While the idea was revolutionary, it lacked empirical evidence. Halley's contemporaries, including Isaac Newton, did not openly endorse the theory, although they did not outright reject it either. Halley's theory, although not accepted, spurred interest in the Earth's magnetic field and its properties. It led to various expeditions and studies aimed at understanding geomagnetism. The 19th century saw a surge in interest in the hollow earth theory, fueled by the spirit of exploration and the thirst for the unknown. In 1818, John Cleves Symmes Jr., an American Army officer, publicly declared that the Earth was hollow and habitable within. Born on November 5, 1780 in Sussex County, New Jersey, John Symmes Jr. was the nephew of the esteemed John Cleves Symmes, a delegate to the Continental Congress and a prominent figure in the early annals of American history. John Symmes Jr. had a military background, serving as a captain in the United States Army during the War of 1812. After leaving the Army, he settled in St. Louis, Missouri, where he would later make his famous proclamation. In 1818, Symmes publicly declared his revolutionary idea, which came to be known as the Symmes hole theory. He hypothesized that the Earth was hollow and habitable within, containing a series of concentric spheres. Unlike Edmund Halley, who had proposed a similar idea over a century earlier, Symmes took the theory a step further. He suggested that large openings at the North and South poles provided access to the Earth's interior. Symmes disseminated his ideas through a pamphlet known as Circular No. 1, which he sent to various scholars, politicians, and institutions. In it, he laid out his theory in detail and called for an expedition to the polar regions to prove his claims. The circular was met with a mixture of intrigue, skepticism, and outright ridicule. Undeterred by the skepticism, Symmes launched a campaign to secure funding for his proposed expedition. He traveled extensively, giving lectures and seeking endorsements. He even petitioned the United States Congress to sponsor an expedition to the poles. Although Congress did not approve the funding, Symmes gained a following, and his ideas began to permeate American popular culture. Symmes' theory was widely discussed in newspapers and journals, and it inspired a range of reactions. Some considered him a visionary, while others dismissed him as a quack. His ideas also found their way into literature, most notably in Edgar Allan Poe's novel, The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, which features a journey to the South Pole and hints at a hollow Earth. Despite his extensive efforts to gain support and funding, he was unable to secure the resources needed for such an expedition. Symmes passed away on May 28, 1829, without seeing his theory either proven or disproven. In 1864, Jules Verne published Journey to the Center of the Earth, a science fiction novel that captured the imagination of the public. While Verne's work was fictional, it was based on the scientific understanding of his time and further popularized the idea of a hollow Earth. In 1938, the Germans sent an expedition to the poles, known as the New Schwabenland Expedition, which took place from 1938 to 1939. Led by Captain Alfred Richer, the expedition aimed to secure a territory in Antarctica for Germany and conducted aerial surveys of the region. The area they explored was named New Schwabenland after the German region of Swabia. The Germans were interested in securing a whaling base to provide oil, a resource Germany was lacking. The expedition also conducted meteorological, geological, and biological research. Over the years, various theories have emerged, suggesting that the Germans were interested in the hollow Earth theory and that they sent expeditions to find an entrance to the Earth's interior. These theories often cite esoteric and occult interests among German leaders as evidence. A few years later, the United States military began Operation Highjump, which was a United States Navy operation led by Admiral Richard Byrd to establish a base of operations in Antarctica. Operation Highjump was one of the most extensive Antarctic expeditions of its time, involving 13 ships, 23 aircraft, and over 4,700 men. However, the operation was cut short, and the fleet returned earlier than planned, fueling speculation about the real reasons behind the mission. Theories suggest that this operation was actually aimed at rooting out a secret German base, possibly connected to the hollow Earth theory. The story goes that during the German Antarctic expedition of 1938 to 1939, it's said that the Germans had discovered an entrance to the hollow Earth and were in contact with its inhabitants and were collaborating with these inner Earth beings to develop advanced weaponry. Admiral Richard Byrd was born on October 25, 1888, in Virginia. He became a naval aviator and gained fame for his daring expeditions to both the Arctic and Antarctic. Byrd was a recipient of the Medal of Honor and led multiple expeditions that contributed significantly to our understanding of Earth's polar regions. In his diary, often referred to as the Lost Diary of Admiral Byrd, he documented his experiences during Operation Highjump. While making a flight to continue his mapping of the poles, Byrd discovered an opening in the Earth's crust that led to an inner world. He describes a lush green landscape inside the Earth, complete with advanced civilizations. According to the diary, Byrd was taken to meet the leaders of this inner world, who expressed their concerns about humanity's development of nuclear weapons. However, there is no proof the diary ever existed, and Admiral Byrd never made any public statements about finding any such entrance. Seismic studies, which measure the vibrations of earthquakes, have provided compelling evidence against the hollow Earth theory. These studies show that seismic waves behave in a manner consistent with a solid Earth rather than a hollow one. The principles of gravity also debunk the hollow Earth theory. According to the law of gravitation, a hollow sphere would not have the mass and gravitational pull that the Earth does. Modern satellite imagery has shown no evidence of large openings at the poles, further discrediting the hollow Earth theory. Despite being debunked by modern science, the hollow Earth theory continues to captivate the imagination. It has inspired numerous books, movies, and conspiracy theories. Some people still believe in the existence of a hollow Earth, often tying it to theories about UFOs and ancient civilizations. The hollow Earth theory serves as a fascinating case study in the history of science and the power of human imagination. While it has been scientifically discredited, its enduring appeal speaks to our innate curiosity and the allure of the unknown. It remains a subject that invites skepticism, wonder, and endless speculation, making it a captivating tale that continues to be told. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Your support truly does mean a lot to us. Until next time, be safe and take care. Goodbye for now.